Experience Derivatives, the Hidden Economy Behind NFTs. Section 1, Introduction. The Illusion of Digital Art. The world first met NFTs as a digital spectacle. Pixelated punks, apes in suits, million-dollar GIFs. They appeared to be about art, about creativity breaking free from the gallery wall. But behind that surface shimmered a deeper financial logic. NFTs were never only about aesthetics. They were about structure, the encoding of future promises, rights, and access into a tradable digital form. This exposition argues that NFTs are best understood not as speculative art, but as experience derivatives, financial instruments that repackage anticipation, access, and emotion into a new kind of asset. The hidden economy beneath the NFT boom is not about collecting images. It's about monetizing the future, transforming the act of waiting itself into value. Section 2, The Evolution of Value. From Objects to Moments. Throughout history, every major economic shift has corresponded to a redefinition of what counts as value. In the industrial age, value resided in things: steel, oil, machines. In the information age, it migrated to data and code. Now, in the token age, value is drifting toward moments, the lived experience, the access, the shared anticipation. A concert ticket, a limited edition sneaker drop, or a presale access code all embody the same principle: deferred consumption. They convert time and expectation into a tradable claim. NFTs simply bring that mechanism on-chain, formalizing it as property, programmable, and portable. The NFT is a time-stamped right to participate in a future moment, ownership of the before rather than the after. Section 3. The Mechanics of Experience Derivatives. An experience derivative is built from three primitives: time, access, and emotion. Time is the window between mint and redemption, the holding period that gives rise to yield. Access defines what the holder can unlock: a product, a community, a piece of art, a privilege. Emotion is the intangible premium, the social proof, the status, the belonging. These derivatives differ from financial futures because they are not settled in cash. They are settled in experience. The value is realized not when the token is sold, but when the moment it represents comes due. A festival NFT, a jewelry pass, or a collector's redemption right all operate as bearer instruments of participation, tradable receipts of future engagement. Thus, NFTs serve as programmable tickets in the theater of postponed consumption. They turn the timeline between desire and fulfillment into an economic field, where value accrues simply because trust and anticipation remain intact. Section 4. The Token Architecture and the Liquidity Lake. For such an economy to sustain itself, it needs a reservoir, a system that holds and recirculates value rather than letting it leak away. This is the liquidity lake. In this architecture, tokens act as the medium through which energy flows. Buyers acquire tokens to access NFTs, creators earn tokens through participation, and collectors lock tokens to preserve access rights. Each action deepens the lake. Liquidity accumulates, waiting becomes measurable, and time becomes monetized. Unlike speculative bubbles, the lake does not depend on endless inflows of new capital. Its depth comes from velocity control, staking, vesting, redeemable NFTs, and periodic burns. The goal is not to chase price appreciation, but to balance inflows and outflows so that holding time itself becomes productive. This content is brought to you by Bobby Giggs. Promote your brand here and reach a wide audience across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description to get started. Section 5, Creators as Value Engineers. In the liquidity lake, creators are not mere suppliers of content. They are engineers of value surfaces. Every design, song, or digital artifact they mint becomes a miniature dam, slowing the flow of liquidity and creating micro-pools of engagement. By issuing NFTs with built-in access rights, limited redemptions, or aesthetic scarcity, creators participate in monetary engineering. They transform creativity into asset-backed yield, where the art functions both as expression and as collateral. The more credible and desirable their future moments, the stronger the derivative. In this sense, creators are the new liquidity providers, artisans of anticipation. Section 6. Governance, trust, and the new intermediation. The invisible fuel of this hidden economy is trust, the belief that a promise encoded in a token will be honored when its moment arrives. Governance tokens and DAOs extend that trust beyond individuals to collective coordination. Participants vote not on managerial minutiae, but on systemic parameters: fee ratios, burn schedules, treasury releases, and creator grants. Transparency, vesting, and on-chain auditing replace institutional oversight. What emerges is a decentralized fiscal policy for culture, a way to govern not money, but meaning. Section 7. The hidden yield of waiting. When a ticket is sold months before a concert, the organizer earns yield on the float, a quiet arbitrage between time and trust. The same principle applies to NFTs. The capital locked in anticipation becomes productive. In the traditional world, that yield accrues to intermediaries. In the tokenized world, it can be redistributed to participants. Staking rewards, loyalty points, or fee rebates can channel the time value of waiting back to creators and collectors. The simple act of holding, of believing, becomes an income-generating behavior. In this sense, the NFT economy is not a bubble, but a time banking system where trust compounds like interest. Section 8. Implications and future directions. Experience derivatives signal a shift from economies of production to economies of participation. They suggest that the next phase of finance will not revolve around commodities or code, but around curated moments, the microeconomies of culture, community, and creativity. Such systems blur the boundaries between art and equity, between consumption and investment. They invite a future in which personal identity, loyalty, and time preferences are measurable components of GDP. Section 9. Conclusion. Toward an economy of meaning. The hidden economy behind NFTs is an economy of waiting made visible. In this architecture, trust, creativity, and time intertwine to form new instruments of value, experience derivatives that reward belief as much as production. When liquidity is held, not lost, and waiting becomes a yield-bearing act, a new form of wealth appears. One rooted not in extraction, but in participation. NFTs, properly understood, are the receipts of that transformation, the proof that in the digital age, experience itself has become the new collateral.